Okay, look, yeah, because I'm gonna bring it back to that bullshit.
Welcome to another Three Aficionados. Here we are, where two aficionados are in one place, while the other aficionado is not, but he is looking spectacular. We talk about all things
No respect.
cars, watches, other things that I get far too obsessive about, which is most things that I can waste my money on. And without further ado, we're gonna pop it off with non-alcoholic beers.
Oh yeah, I was getting thirsty.
We getting bubbly.
Yeah, I'm not even on the same level as you guys because I'm still in another universe with some tea. And you guys,
Tea. Nice.
this is dangerous. This
Today
is hot.
we got a lot of new watch alerts, car alerts, and there's a lot of things coming up with watches and wonders and big hypercars because we have been on a big hiatus because we can't get our shit together. So
Well, you guys are in the healthcare industry.
yeah.
I'm
And we're also at Peter's parents, so I'm what I'm saying here, but I seem to not be censoring myself very well here.
That's okay.
Yeah, here we are. All right.
All right.
Let's kick it off with what's on Daniel's ears.
Oh, well, today I'm rocking one of my all-time favorites, my Victorinox Dive Master 500. And here we go. If I can find the camera. Whoop, there it is. Oh yeah, baby. So love this watch. You know, as we all know, this was a partnered thing between Steve and Yip and myself, and I still continue to wear it and love it, even though I throw it in the blurry area of the camera. And there we go. Yeah, lots of water resistance, super heavy, like wearing a gun on your wrist, as we have said many times before. And there we go. Yeah, love it. Bracelet's awesome, super strong, and I get compliments on it, and then I think it frightens some people, but otherwise, you know, here we go. Moving on. No more of that. What are you guys rocking?
Anytime Daniel says there's a gun on my wrist, that does frighten a lot of people. But the video quality is so high, like we've really upped our quality. Like I think that we might actually get Chris and maybe one other viewer to follow or something
There
like
we
that.
go. It may jump up a few.
Yeah, so clearly
man.
I talk all my shit to my friends, and so Daniel has taken the Victorinox, which immediately had all the loom fall out and other shit break. But let's see what I broke and gave to Peter.
Oh,
Peter, what's on your wrist today?
Well, I have something on the right wrist currently because the left wrist is unoccupied, and the right wrist has the Black Moon swatch that I bought from Steve.
You can put it right up to the thing. You don't need to worry about.
Let's see.
You can totally
it's a little
blur my
blurry,
face out.
but it is. It's a beautiful watch nonetheless. I put a couple scratches on the crystal. I don't know if it's honestly crystal or what it is, but I have put a couple scratches on it. It's quite nice. Otherwise, there's no scratches on the bioceramic, but I like this one for the color. Kind of looks more like the original, but I guess for an unveiling at the moment, there is another watch.
Oh.
You can't really see it at the moment, but it is
It's
the
so
Mission
blurry.
to Mars.
I'll just get out of the frame.
Let's see.
maybe I can suggest
okay.
that you
It's the
just
Mission to Mars.
remove the blurry filter for a moment.
Anyone who's seen it, there we go. You can see it here, as long as I hold it in front of me.
No blur.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
So clean. You need more blur for my face, though.
It's okay.
Go straight to focus to the.
There we go.
Ooh. Look at this unboxing. This is the best unboxing of all
There
because
we
I set the
go.
bar so low.
Look at those hands.
Yeah, I really like this watch. I was looking forward to getting a hold of it and wearing it, and there she goes. That's it.
That's
in
cool,
person.
man.
Yeah, I think it's a really neat watch. I just like the fact that for something like what it is, I mean, it's obviously not a real Speedmaster, but I think it's kind of just a cool homage to what it is. And it's, I like how light it is, and just you really don't notice it on the wrist. It reminds me of like G-Shock. It doesn't hold up, I don't think, like a G-Shock, but that's okay. That's for what it is, it's pretty cool. I would say it's definitely more interesting. interesting piece to add to the collection.
So you've got now the moon and you've got the Mars. So
Yes.
the moon is the gray dial. It's pretty much as close to the actual moon watch
Well, this
as
is gonna
possible,
be
and then he
terrible.
almost drops it.
Yeah.
And then the Mars is the one that I have, the red and white. So for those who are keeping track, I did hawk the moon. We were sharing it, and then Peter just wants to fully scratch the shit out of it. So Peter's gonna go, and then he's got
I don't
the
want no more
Mars.
part of that.
You know how OCD I am. And then the Mars is the one that I still have, but he's got a new one. I picked that one up when I was at the Swatch shop. I saw it, and I was thinking, is Peter a Uranus or a Mars? And I called him up, and I showed him my Uranus, and he showed that he was more of a red man.
I really like this.
Well,
I think
one
this
thing is for sure is as real of a Speedmaster as the other one you're wearing as well.
exactly right.
He's got the Alaska
Yeah.
and the moon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
we
cool.
gotta get
They look
those
good
up.
together.
100%.
Yeah. Look at this guy, double wrister fister.
There you go.
That is very, very cool. Well, that's a very cool acquisition and
Thank you.
contribution to not only your own private collection, but also to the sharing experience with us. Thank you,
We
Peter.
got the personal delivery all the way from Edmonton.
There
The
we
gas
go.
alone is
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
expensive as the
Exactly.
watch itself.
No,
What an exotic location.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, #1 on TripAdvisor in Canada this past summer. Edmonton.
Number one on TripAdvisor. Just hip in the Amalfi Coast. They close head to head there. Yeah. Well,
I
I'll
like
go
it.
ahead and ask myself, what's on your wrist, Steve?
Yeah, what's on
No one
your-
cares, Steve. We had a great one a second
Anybody-
ago. You can't top that.
Nobody gives a shit
Jesus.
what I'm wearing.
Nobody can top what Peter just brought.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. Oh, Peter's family's walking up, and I'm unfortunately gonna have to go
Oh my god, you're going full dick mode.
full dick mode. This is John Mayer Daytona green dial with the gold everything. Gold.
Oh yeah.
And it
So-
is my grandfather's watch, really, in spirit, but I pretty much wear it most of the time. But I always have to, whenever I visit him, I always try to take it out and put it on his wrist, and then he just lights right up. So it's never going anywhere. Even when it was at the height of its value, I couldn't even fathom parting with it. So it's the most sentimental watch that I have there, and it just sparkles. And I didn't have it out for St. Paddy's Day, so here we are. Happy St. Paddy's, boys.
Happy St. Paddy's, everybody. And probably a good idea not to take that out on St. Paddy's.
No,
No.
Yeah. No, I advise against it.
no fist fights in the John Mayer.
And yeah, is that what we're calling it now? The John Mayer?
It's informally called that, but you could also call it the Conor McGregor. I would prefer the
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, hard pass on that guy.
Yeah.
There's like a few million people in Ireland who seem to still like him, but I think everyone else is just falling off that
And my brother.
bandwagon.
name is
Sorry
Conor.
there, McGregor.
Go
Well,
ahead.
you know what?
Conor
There's a lot of
McGregor.
other Connors you can look up to.
That's true. But
Yeah. Pick a better role model, Connor.
well, Connor is letting us use his music for free in the intro, so let's not shit on him entirely.
You know what? Bring him on the show so I can say it to his face.
I was
The
hoping to
internet.
bring him- I was hoping to bring him on the show actually, but unfortunately he just flew out. I did put on his wrist though. I was hoping to put it on the show, but stars didn't align. I gave him my Casio Gray,
No.
and he's not a huge watch guy, but he was wearing it every single day and really loved it. It was like,
Cool.
that's my favorite.
That suits him.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
gangster.
it wasn't getting any wrist time, so I was like,
Yeah.
what, I'd like to give it to him. And then I then also proceeded to give my other Casio to my grandfather on
Good
his
choice.
birthday.
Nice.
That's a good choice.
I was hoping to get him the gold one that recently came out, but
Right.
I couldn't get it in time, so I gave him the steel one, and he likes it. But he likes this one much better. The John Mayer.
Well, like let's picture the situation where you wake up one morning and you say to yourself, which watch am I going to wear today? And then you decide to pass over those watches and choose Connor's G-Shock.
Well, watch
I'm
for
just giving you a hard
occasion
time. I
every
love that
time.
watch.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
actually, I
thinking
think
about getting one of those for my brother as well as a gift because he seems to be quite into them. So
well, this
maybe
is
we'll both have brothers rocking these things at some point.
brothers from different mothers. And this one
Hmm.
is the gold one that I was just alluding to. So perfect transition, well thought out. Not really, actually, but
Oh,
this
perfect.
is the new full metal option, which I thought looks really dope. And I was thinking this would be perfect for my grandfather, but he already has the steel one, and he's already scratched the shit out of it. I just checked it. It's been 1 week, and it is all scratched to fuck. So yeah, it's got that patina.
How old
But
is
this
he again?
he has turned 97 years old. The fact that he can put anything on his wrist and lift it is pretty amazing.
I
So
was gonna ask, like, how strong is he? Like, this probably is even heavy for him.
he's old man strong. He's got that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, got nothing to lose. He's like, gotta go, gotta go. My fist through your face. So the gold, yellow gold G-Shock, which is not actually yellow gold, of course it is yellow gold looking. It's basically the same model that I had for the full metal Casio. This one's GMB 2100 GD 9A. You know, very it just rolls right off your tongue here. My friend has the rose gold, the coppery looking version, and then I have the steel one that went to my grandfather. I think this one actually is my favorite of the bunch. I haven't seen it in person yet, and I really was hoping to get it in time. But from what I hear, it would come in a week, and I'm supposed to let my AD know whether or not I'm going to go for it. Thing is, I don't know how much wrist time it would get. I feel like that steel one was a pretty good one to just wear for all occasions. This one is a little bit, I don't know, a little
I
bit,
don't think you should get one.
yeah. I
No,
agree. I think that there's something else that might be actually taking up my wrist in its stead, but it's a little bit upmarket from this, and we'll maybe get to that next. But Daniel, feel free to go ahead and shit on it, but love it at the same time. But tell me not to get it. But tell me if you want, you can get it.
no, you should not get one. It's not a if you want it, you should get one situation.
No,
I don't understand it.
go fuck yourself.
I just don't get it.
No,
Like, there's a certain point where you take a G-Shock and you make it something so different from its original namesake that it becomes I don't know, it becomes kind of on the fringe of the fringe on outside of the realm of what it's supposed to be, and it's kind of become a point where it's like you can actually damage it, like you're saying, scratching it, all this other crap. So, I've got G-Shocks that are what I would consider to be a real G-Shock. That's a shot.
oh,
That's a shot at you.
at me.
And like it does not damage basically.
Mhm.
This thing is kind of like it's just too expensive. That is my gripe with it. All of a sudden it's like, why would you spend the money on it?
I think it in Canada. It comes out to about 770 or 780 or something like that.
Oh my God. All right.
Australian dollars is
Well, if you
yeah.
really want it, Stephen, if you really want it, but I don't know. I like that one photo of it. It doesn't even look good. No offense
This
to you.
one?
No offense to you,
Oh,
because we're allowed to have different opinions from
no, we're
time to
not.
time, on occasion. But in this instance, like it just looks cheap.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't look expensive.
I think you need to see it in
There's
person.
no. I still think if I see it in person, there's no way I'm going to say it's worth over a couple $100.
I think that
And I
was
think that's like my major issue with it.
for the copper one. I was like, yeah, you can clearly tell that it's not like what it's aspiring to be,
Yeah.
either rose gold or copper. And then similarly, like this gold, I wonder, like you'll just be like, yeah, that's clearly not gold. Um, and then I think the steel one was like the sweet spot again because it was just like that steel. But at the same time, it was the same price. So go fuck yourself. I did spend that money before, and I spent it well because it went to my grandfather, and he tells you to go
Oh,
fuck yourself too.
that's fine. That one's actually nice. This
Yeah,
one though is not nice. It's just not.
not
And
nice.
it's just not nice.
Hmm.
Whatever you do, it's just not nice.
Yeah, well, that's what.
It's like, it's like this. They come out with a new watch every month. It's just like, oh yeah, here's a Casio again in gold. Oh yeah, here's a Casio in this color. Just want to remind you guys that Casios are out there. They're still available for purchase. This one is available right now.
But
You
this
can
one
have
is
it.
available available currently on the table. So Tudor, I got a Tudor.
That
This
is a
is
watch.
a little bit more expensive. This is an unboxing that I'm going to fuck up, much akin to all my unboxings. After
not.
Peter has shown how it should be done, I'm going to show how it should not be done. Here we go. This is a Tudor Black Bay. What do you think? Pro.
Oh,
So
we want to listen to you.
about it being 1655, kind of homage, similar to the Steve McQueen Explorer. The good thing is that this came out like a month or a few weeks after I was strongly considering picking up a 1655 Rolex Explorer 2 Steve McQueen, and I really fell in love with it after seeing that watch in person. And that was going to cost me a pretty penny. And luckily, I did not trade in a bunch of watches for it, because this came out, and to me, this is about 75% of owning that. And I don't know if I ever saw myself owning Explorer 2. I got an Explorer 1. That doesn't get a ton of wrist time, but I feel like this really scratches that itch. I don't really need an Explorer 2, and I don't really want to spend 30 grand on a Steve McQueen, but now I got a Steve McQueen almost, and I think that's kind of cool. I think the major gripe that everyone has about this is that it's a thickie. It's got a thick case, and you do notice the weight and the thickness, but it's a sporty, rugged watch, and I think that it's welcomed in my collection because I got so many thinnies. So,
Oh man, I love that dome.
yeah, it's the dome and then the movement, which was taken out of the Tudor GMT. That people had gripes with, where the date function was having issues. I actually saw that. I think one YouTuber was complaining about how his date wasn't working. So far, mine is working well. The clasp is also the new T-Fit clasp, so it has micro adjustments similar to what you get in a Rolex Submariner, but it actually has these spring-loaded slots. That's right. That's what I just called you, mother. Spring-loaded slots. So you can kind of slide this out. I don't know if I can actually show this on screen here. No, I'm fucking up the shot, but you can basically slide it back and forth like that, just like your mother. And then I will put it with the ball joints or whatever. Forget it. I'm just gonna put it on my fucking wrist. Shut up, Steve. It's nice. I like it. It sits on my wrist nice. It is pretty heavy, hefty, and thick. Would I wear it with formal wear? Probably not. Do I need to? No. It's a nice rugged watch that I'd like to travel with and not have to worry about. I think it'd be great for taking to sketchy zones and flying a little under the radar. What I really like is that these little lume plots are like, they're ceramic, luminous kind of plots.
Cool.
So it has a nice shine to it. It's not perfect lume, but it's very nice. And that orange hand, it's kind of got that faded albino look, so it's definitely got some aging to it, and it actually matches the 200 meter reading here. So both orange. I wish that it was a little bit brighter, kind of similar to the Explorer 2, but their intent is to kind of show that early aging. And how much do I love that? Not super much, but I mean, it is kind of an homage heritage thing, and I like it for what it is. I don't have to shit on it. And I'm not spending 30 grand on a Steve McQueen, so this is nice for me.
That's nice. It looks good with the outfit you're wearing at the moment.
Thank you.
It's got that whole kind of like leather jacket going out for a drive on the weekend look.
Yeah, I picked
So
up.
I think that's really what it's for, you know. In my opinion, now that I see it on you,
yeah,
that's how I interpret it. I didn't really understand where it would fit into the lineup until now, which is interesting, you know. Wrist time really does help us decide whether or not a watch is cool or not. You know, you got to put it on.
Yeah,
it's like wearing any article of clothing or jewelry.
I do wonder how much wrist time it will get and whether it will be a long-term hold. I've waited for a long time. Peter and I actually checked it out before when they had it on the NATO strap, and I held out for the bracelet, especially knowing this clasp. But I feel like this would be really good on a NATO.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the clasp again, because I had just looked it up a moment ago and found that the name of that expanding mechanism is called the Kegel clasp, as far as I just learned.
The Kegel clasp?
Yeah.
The Kegel clasp?
Is that also your mother? That's what she did after she
It's
had,
not true. It's
she
not
had
true.
to
That's what it is.
maintain that pelvic floor exercise with the Kegel clasp.
You seemed to mention something there earlier, so it seemed appropriate
I think
to
it's
make sure
T-flip.
that we were on the right track, and that is in fact what it's
T-flip
called.
Kegels. All right, all right.
Yeah,
You get
Class
it
B.
to mother. That's not what I said.
Very Class B.
All right.
Very classy.
More news. I think we should share a little bit here if I can figure out share screen again here. So obviously this is tomorrow. Today being Sunday, tomorrow being Monday. This is when Rolex Watches and Wonders are going to come out, and so there's lots of speculation after seeing this like frame by frame grab of the video. So the idea is probably there's a new Platona coming, which I'm a little bit worried about. There's probably going to be a lot of use of titanium, like a Yacht Master here. Not sure what they're going to do with the Daytona. I saw one speculation of it maybe coming on a rubber strap, like the Oyster Flex. I would always want to go full metal on that one, especially with the weight of it. I really noticed the imbalanced weight on just an Oyster Flex with gold. With platinum, I feel like it would just rip my wrist right off, my weak wrist off. There's another one that's a GMT2 that's probably like a two-tone. Yeah. And then there's this orange one, some sort of enamel dial or maybe tiger eye, whatever.
That's cool.
Cellini.
Oh, they're bringing back the Cellini?
Yeah, well, I think they would only get like one in store a year. Like they were
I didn't
getting
even know
super
they were
rare.
still stocking them.
Yeah, and then this one looks interesting. I think this is probably the Cellini. This nice royal deep blue. But I am a little bit worried because I have put my request in for a Platona as to whether that's going to happen or not. I think the other thing is also this is clearly an Explorer. So what are they doing with the Explorer? I think that's going to be most likely on the titanium, which makes a lot of sense. That would be a cool watch. I think a sporty approach similar to what we've got with the Pelagos applied to the Explorer 2, which is kind of that bridge between Tudor and Explorer, in my opinion, being probably their most rugged and utilitarian watch. But any of these piquing anyone's interest, or is this kind of a, well, meh?
I think that one looks kind of interesting, like the enamely orange dye. I would like to see that in person. Sometimes I
Yeah.
kind of like their special drops that they do. I could
Mhm.
potentially see it being a ladies' watch, but I mean we'll see. It looks like it's probably gonna be gold too. But
Yeah, it's got a yellow gold crown, so it's got to be on precious metal, clearly.
yeah,
So it's not, it would be kind of cool to see like an orange dial Explorer 2, in my
really neat.
opinion, or Explorer 1. That would be really cool to play around with colors, but I think that this is probably going to be some sort of precious metal. But yeah, we'll see.
And these
Would you agree that that orange, what we'll call an enamel dial, reminds you of like a, I don't know, say like the crema on an espresso or a creme brulee? There's something about it.
Daniel,
I'm not sure I like it, but it does make me want a coffee.
yeah,
yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Uh,
makes me want
I
to
think
shatter that dial with my spoon.
Rolex has done an interesting thing here with these like teaser photos, right? Where they have sent out these images where it's difficult for us to actually imagine what the final piece is going to look like with the micro renderings or macro renderings that they've provided us with. I think this one is neat, whatever the heck that is. The
Explorer
Rolex
2,
titanium, right?
yeah, this has got a 6
Sorry,
here, so it's pretty much a,
Explorer,
well, it
right?
at least has to be an Explorer. It
Yeah,
could
Explorer
be
titanium potentially.
probably more likely Explorer 1 actually now, because it's 369. That's the
Hmm.
classic Explorer 1, so it wouldn't be likely a 2, and it's probably titanium just based upon how much they've been promoting it, and it kind of makes me happy that I've got that Pelagos, the Marine National FXD, but it
That
doesn't.
is a cool watch.
A little bit sad about what I did pass on at the 80. They were like, hey, you've got the 1655 homage. That's the Tudor Pro, and we also have a 39 Tudor Pelagos. I was like, oh, well, you make. I don't want both, but like I've got to choose between the two, and I think I chose right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should move on to the next subject, unless there's another person who wants to speak before we do.
No, I don't think anybody else wants to speak. You just killed that.
All right,
Let's
move.
have
Move
an
on.
abrupt transition to car news.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk about things that Steve can't get but has requested, just like watches and. Okay, so the successor to the Ferrari F40, 50, Enzo, LaFerrari, the next hypercar. I've seen F450 being used around. This is pretty crazy looking. Almost looks like a Corvette.
It's kinda
And
That is, I was gonna say that's a Corvette, right?
really, I'm no longer even thinking this is
Is
at
that a
all a
C8?
possibility. The fact that I even said that, because I'm definitely now banned. But yeah, so it's probably going to be some form of hybrid, or it could be V12, like what they used in the Daytona.
That looks better.
I mean, these renders are interesting. I immediately, the moment that any of these test mules went out, contacted my dealer, and they told me that you're not important enough, and
Yeah,
for
get out of it. Go home.
this, I'd like to give you it, but it's not up to me. Please go fuck yourself. And
This
buy
one,
a Ferrari Roma Spider, and I am not even talking about that here, but it came out and it's a Roma with a drop top.
that's pretty dope to me.
I'd rather have a regular Roma, but yeah.
The I think that the camouflage there is probably doing an incredibly good job to just throw us off.
Mhm.
I feel like once that is finally made public with the final result, it's going to look amazing, and perhaps there'll be some Corvette hues,
Oh,
but
apparently it's F2.
I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
250.
Yeah,
Oh.
and less than 1,000 units. So, in case you ask
Right.
if I ever get that one, I
Yeah.
had to blackmail a lot of people in Italy. So,
Yeah. Well, you know what they say about you. You're not even 1 in 1,000.
yep, I'm one in whenever. Here's one that I might get, an Integra
No.
Type S, and I knew you were gonna shit about it, and I'm not super hung up about it. It's ranking
Just like
about.
no, period.
All right, go fuck yourself. Take
That
my
was
$500
quick, yeah.
deposit back. Okay,
Put a deposit down on this?
$500. Yeah. Okay. Shut up and listen.
Daniel's
Just let me
like,
go through it.
"No."
It's very early, and I already got burnt dragging my heels with the Civic Type R. This is basically the Civic Type R, but uglier, I would argue.
Mhm.
And it actually has a little bit more horsepower. So
it does.
it's
It's-
pretty much a Civic Type R that maybe is a little bit more refined, a little bit less attractive, less wing, maybe a little less hood scoop. Interesting. We'll see. Could be actually a cool car. I think that the only reason I'd actually go ahead with this if I was still waiting until 2025 for a Civic Type R, and I just wanted to scratch that itch just to see what it was like. But it's the same powertrain, probably similar suspension, might be a little bit smoother riding and a little bit less raw. But yeah, I mean, the two things being up against one another, I'm clearly taking the Type R. But there's also this nostalgic feeling because like my first real interesting car that I had was when I bought my dad's Acura RSX Type S. It was an 03 in blue, and that was a cool car. And so if this kind of is a bit of an homage to that, it'd be kind of cool. But again, I take Type R over it. Go ahead, Daniel. I know that you're gonna dash my dreams, and that's fine.
He's ready to
This
shit
is
on
not the
it.
F250 to me. This is
No.
kind of a strategic, put your name down on it, and then you can always walk away from it.
You throw some good sales pitches out there, so maybe I'll take some more time to process instead of just initially wanting to hurt you badly.
Look
But
at
That's kind of cool.
like to me,
Looks good.
and people to people my age and Steve's age, there is a nostalgia around Acura, but I just don't know if there's a strong enough nostalgia for me to actually pursue ownership of one.
I agree. This is
And
Integra, in my opinion.
I just don't see how it's going to be. I don't know. And if you do buy one, I would bet you something that you would not make any money off of it. I don't see it reselling with anything. Like maybe, but Honda Civic Type R had a moment during the early pandemic when there was a massive shortfall. A whole ship sank. There were huge issues, and Civic Type R's are going for like 70 grand. But I don't think that's going to be the future with those cars or
No,
this
I
car.
agree. This is
So I
like
think
buying
like it's
that
just
Audi, right? Like buying that Audi final edition was kind of like a, well, this would be a cool car to own, but really the market of people who would buy this afterwards, like it's not speculative. It was just more of like, this would be interesting car to own. I probably wouldn't make any money. I might lose a little money. I
you
probably won't
would.
even go with it. I probably won't even spec it. If I get the Type R call before this call, I would just ask for my money back on this one, I think. There'd be no reason for me to have both, and I'd much rather have the Type R.
Understandable.
Yeah. All right.
I
Any
have
other-
another question for you before we move on,
No.
and also for Peter.
Mhm.
More for you though, because you're old. Sorry, older. I
I'm
apologize.
old. I'm old.
Oh gosh, so old. So when we were younger, there was an appeal around Acura.
Mhm.
It seemed like a cool alternative, and it seemed like a more affordable or attainable version of some of the German vehicles. But now, these vehicles are comparably priced in many ways to German vehicles. And my love has basically just consolidated around a German lineup,
Yeah.
with the odd exception. So if you want like a good car, then buying a Honda or an Acura or a Toyota is a great decision. But if you want more than a good or a great car, I don't know if you can really stay in the lineup anymore. It feels to me like you have to go German or somewhere else, perhaps, even Italy, perhaps.
Mhm.
Maybe America, even. That sounds crazy, but
That's a
that maybe
segue.
hints at our next thing.
I agree completely. And Acura used to be the gateway to getting those high-end Type R Honda vehicles. Like that brought us the NSX. That was tethered to Ayrton Senna. Like
Mhm.
it was the Integra Type R. Everything that was enthusiast that was actually even more attractive looking compared to the Civic. And now let's harshly segue into a car that looks like a taxi cab. The final last gasp for disgusting American brutal horsepower. This is
Oh
going to be the
yeah.
last Dodge Challenger Demon
my.
170. This is going to be like an insane drag strip car that's
1,000
going to be the last of the
horsepower.
6.2 V8, and it's 1,025 horsepower. You can spec it with additional drinking ware. I think
Oh
there's like
yes,
some
yeah.
random whiskey
Decanter.
decanter, that's right,
Yeah,
and
whiskey
cups.
decanter and
Yes,
cups
yes.
that had like a little demon head on them.
And pre-cirrhotic liver, and just I think that this is interesting, and it also has like a parachute that pops out the back as well, I think,
Oh.
that you can get. It's interesting. Did I put my money down on this? No, I can't imagine myself ever even owning this even for a second, but that's
Doesn't
off to
suit you at
whoever buys
all.
it. No,
But what can you buy for this price
quite a bit. I
that
mean,
gives you 1,000 horsepower?
Yeah, that's seriously
That's
the
the question.
well,
And
apparently this is $300,000 in the
yes,
dealer markup in the States. That's insane.
that's fucked.
that's insane. But still, let's even just accept that as that.
Mhm.
300 grand gets you over 1,000 horsepower.
Still pretty
Your
good.
your GT2 RS doesn't make 1,000 horsepower, and it's way more.
No, but
But in
I
the
picture
end, it's
all
way
day.
faster
Mhm.
Yeah.
because it's more than the sum of its parts. The whole go fast thing, and that's what Porsche and the Germans do so well. It's not just 1,000 horsepower. You know, you in BMW and Audi and Mercedes, Porsche, you get 600 horsepower that outperforms 1,000 American horsepower. It's the
Yeah.
whole package. But this is a lot like the JDM tuner cars we were talking about before with the Acura, because
Yeah.
these are in a way like the American version, right? It's the entryway into high performance. The JDM cars you get for a low cost, and even though it wouldn't make crazy horsepower, they'd still be pretty quick. And then
Mhm.
with the American cars, you can get into high horsepower for a pretty low dollar value
Yeah.
and do your own kind of tuning thing and become one with the car.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I will happily take my 300 and put it towards a GT3 RS. But
Is that the next thing
way
we're
less-
talking about?
No, we're just alluding to the fact that that's another thing that is on its way if I can't get a GT4 RS. So the current update is GT4 RS. They're getting 5 more allocations. I'm one of 4 people. I'm not that important, but I get one of them. And when does that happen? Who knows? But it's happening. And worst case scenario, if that doesn't happen, then GT3 RS allocation. They're getting plenty of them. So
So I don't want no BS here. You got to tell me straight up what's happening. You're
GT4 RS.
told by them you're guaranteed one of these 2 cars.
Well, they won't put it in writing, but yes, it's happening. As far as I know, they will get their numbers next week. So I will know by next week.
Very cool.
Hallelujah.
Coin Shark Blue,
Oh my God.
Bisac package, indigo blue wheels with the lightweight bucket race seats,
That would be so sick.
bit of blue highlights inside. Yep. If I can
So
get
actually, the engine sounds more like a dog barking, you know, more like a.
now that is much less than a Dodge Demon markup, and well worth the money and only
God.
horsepower.
It's one of the most exciting days in a long time.
And if I go for that, GT2 RS can stay. I can have
Okay.
a GT4 RS and a GT2 RS
That'd be fucking sick.
and the 430. Maybe not an M5 anymore, but we'll see. I'll try to keep
Reasonable.
it because the Civic Type R, that I think is a good daily driver that can come in. I want to have it at some point, and if that means I've got to move something out, I mean, first on chopping block is the M5. I've really enjoyed it, but I mean, who knows? Like everything is kind of like off in the horizon. All I know is Civic Type R is eventually coming. I'm number 3 on their list, and the GT4 RS is 95% coming, but I won't believe it until I actually have the allocation build 100%, and then worst case scenario GT3 RS. And I
That's
don't
crazy
think I
shit.
need to cry about that.
I'm
That's
psyched to talk about different specifications for that car. It's very cool. Once you get the final go ahead and you can actually get down and dirty and be like, yo, I want the stitching this color. I want the steering wheel this color. And I'm gonna do it like this. And it's gonna look sick. And
Yeah.
then it's go fast. Yeah, go fast. So you're telling me you could have a couple of GT cars. Sorry, let's even get more specific. A couple RS cars.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's dope.
Now,
Yeah, that is so dope.
Ultimate dream is that there is supposed to be a 4-liter that's supposed to be going up for sale in the near future. And if that were to happen, I would have to jump on that. But I think the GT4 RS, I would just lean over as much as I could into my credit line to just make it happen.
Yeah.
And work it through my business, through my Prof Corp somehow. Don't tell my accountant. He's also.
Well, they're there to help you. They're not there to tell you what to do.
But look,
take their advice.
Well, it's my father. We could just basically take his daughter away from
Oh
him.
my God.
But this is the spec that I've got for it. So this is the
Thing's so
Shark
beautiful.
Blue. Really looks good on this.
With the wheels too.
I think it looks
Mhm.
good in the RS models. The GT4 RS and the GT3 RS both look good with Shark Blue.
Mhm. Very subtle.
This is the Indigo wheel, the PCCB carbon ceramic brakes.
That's so dope.
Yeah, it looks super
PCCB,
cool.
that's
It's like saying it.
all right.
And the magnesium wheels. I don't know if I'll get the magnesium wheels because thus far they've had like 4 or 5 allocations come in, and they've all had the alloy. It's like the middle wheel. It's still alloy, but it's like I'm blanking on forged
Forged, yeah.
forged aluminum wheels.
Yeah.
I'm smooth leather because I like it smooth and
Yeah,
not
Smooth leather's better.
This is for all lifelong ownage, so I expect this would be a long-termer, assuming like a 4-liter unicorn didn't come into my stratosphere. But I mean, this I want
This is
to last.
probably better.
Mhm. And then it's got the blue hints. I didn't bother with the blue seat belts. Bose stereo, and yeah,
Thing's badass.
I think that's about it. That's all I need.
Yeah, man.
Oh, like fire extinguisher, I think should be in there as well. I'm not sure if I put that in this one, but yeah, I like the fire.
Yeah,
Smoking package for the outlet for my radar detector, and
yeah,
door sills illuminated, and
yeah,
of
it's
course,
dope.
European delivery in Leipzig.
Oh,
Last time I did European
That's so
delivery,
sick.
it was in Stuttgart.
yeah,
That's where you get to tour the factory where they build the cars. But Leipzig, it has the track. So to take this in delivery, and then I believe that they would just give you an equivalent car to take out onto the track, not your own, because I really don't want to break it in there. But I think that this is the greatest spec that I can build without going paint to sample.
It's
it
beautiful.
looks stupid good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that color.
Yeah, yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Beautiful, blue and yellow all day.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't change a thing.
With that, that's a mic drop. That's a watch drop and a car drop. It's all coming. Good to see you, boys.
Alrighty, I hope
And
you have a
another Three
great.
Aficionados, and Daniel is looking mighty professional and svelte. Well done, boys. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Seeing Daniel in person, and maybe we can do a pod
That'd
then.
be
But I
sick.
have a feeling that'll be tight timing. But
Until then,
until then,
we have the greatest day ever. Everyone have the greatest day ever.
thank you, boys. Peace out.